Off the wall and now brought ahead. Tracked down. There goes Manette to grab that one. Ladled by Ella Rudder, and she'll throw it over the net. Claire Stewart going to grab this one along the boards, force it towards the blue line. Stewart again trying to feed it through to the middle. And now picked by Summer McLean. Off the boards, coming through to center. Here comes Northwood again. They'll break in 3-on-2. Trying for that centering feed. Nothing's there. And we apologize about a little audio issue there at the beginning. But again, my name's Colby Smith here with you for this one, a U19 battle. It's Northwood and the Philadelphia Junior Flyers right here. Canton Ice House Blue Rink. And Zuckel frees the play with 13:16 to go in the first. So a little bit of a later start than planned. Is talking about just myself. Had our rain issues, our wind issues outside. The power went out here, and power went out for a while. But luckily, got the ice back to shape, and everybody was thrilled to get back to playing hockey as it's ripped past the left post. This is the only rink going on here in-house right now. Going to have a couple games starting down at Providence College's Snyder Arena here a little bit later, and then we'll have some more games here later on as well. Knifed up ice by Fedorov. And now tracked behind the cage. And for whatever reason, my tabs don't want to work for me here, but that's all right. Everything just seems to be going wrong today, but we just pivot and keep on rolling. Into the zone. Northwood with the quick hustle. There's Autumn Kelly. Penelope St. Pierre went with her to the corner. His team led by Trevor Gilligan. Battle of two veteran head coaches. Quick move to the middle, acapella through the left wing circle, and there's a glove save. So, Anna Mortazavi coming up with another there for the Junior Flyers. And now both teams will make some changes. Face-off will be to her left here in the offensive zone for Northwood. St. Pierre takes the draw, and she's able to steer it back. And a high flat rip just left. As Acapella continuing to thread. Cora Major off the boards. Trying this work out. St. Pierre up the gut and couldn't bounce one was Autumn Kelly. Along the boards looking out high. St. Pierre now going to spray up some ice along the boards. Drifts to the high slot. Fed on over. Now the step shot and Mortazavi knocks it down twice and 3 times. She comes up with the saves. The Junior Flyers, it's Rudder skating it over center, up the right wing side. Couldn't get anything through to the net. Rudder now surveying the scene along the goal line. Waits in the corner, trying to snap it through. Rudder along the boards, getting knocked off the puck. Emma Haggins tracking this one down. Junior Flyers, 11:35 to go as they hit the reset button. Coaches did shorten this game to 3 17-minute periods. Try to get us through here quickly and try to get us on schedule. Blue costs it up. Here's Megan Holmes feeding through center. Knocked down at the blue line. Riley Martinez throwing it up the ice sheet. Into the corner this one goes. And now given away by Bryn McGuire. Off the wall, McGonigal swats for this and going to come back behind the net with 11 to go. Northwood, it's skating right on top of this. Into the pile as well comes Elbrecht. Finally jostled away as Elbrecht will work it up the wall. Cuts over the line, going to get over center. Now in offensive territory beyond the right wing wall. Gave it up. Thompson couldn't get it further than center. Junior Flyers are going to make some changes. Stretch pass, a bit too much handle for Combe. Put off the wall. McGonigal was there beyond center. Reese Combe will now fork it in. Rides the sidewall, finds the stick of Leigh Esperance, and that's Reese to be at that. She wears 24, and her sister Perry wears 25. Juliana Sano rides around the wall, and now quick touch. Anna Monette comes over the blue line. Here comes Northwood again with speed as it's Tessa Barton through the right wing circle, driving the net, fed up front, and not going to have a shot is Sano, going to add the loose change. And here come the Junior Flyers. The stretch feed, now some room for McGonigal. She's in all alone, goes to the backhand, score! McGonigal on the stretch feed, goes to the backhand and tucks it home. It's 1-0 Philadelphia. So a heck of a start there for this Junior Flyers team that's struggled here to begin this JWHL campaign, to say the least. Alois downs through neutral, comes down left side of the cage. McGonigal was right there on the doorstep. Summer McLean, and there's a quick poke check. Lena Stirs trying to come out the other way. Kenna Gillis turns on her horse through the circle, dropped off in front and ripped up and out of play by Major. Cora Major just put way too much zip on that one right in front of the net. Would have had a good chance on Mortazavi. But now it's a Northwood offensive zone face-off with 9:29 to go in the first. Quick win to the corner wall. Tevi Blue shipping it cross ice, and point shot. Mortazavi steers it away, trying to lay down. Puck still free, and it's tipped home. A third try goes for Northwood, and we are even at 1. Going to be Summer McLean who evens the scoring. And time on that one will be 10:52, so the goal's exactly a minute apart. This one will bounce away from Megan Holmes, one back into defensive territory. Sano has her stick being grabbed onto. Now she's tripped up, fed up front, and that kicks off the pads to the corner. Grabbed by Cadence Wright as she tries that outlet. Riley Martinez, and it's what we've seen a lot of from the Junior Flyers this year, scoring early or scoring a couple of goals, but then they let other teams storm right back and hang around in games. So Chris Beer's group just got to get that foot on the gas and know that they can play some good hockey, because you've seen it, and there's a hand pass. 8:43 to go. So tie game now at 1 apiece. Junior Flyers, quick work in, and Ella Rutter has it come away. Northwood, in case you're wondering where they're out of, play out of Lake Placid. And there's going to be an icing. Acapella just dumping it in there. So 8:23 to go. And face-off will be right back in offensive territory here for Philly. Rest of the day, the games we got, 3:20 start here between Naha and Stansted in the 16U bracket. And then at Providence College Snyder Arena, a 19U game between Washington and Mount starting at 4, and can't get that through. 6 p.m., Mount 16, Washington 16s will play. And then on blue here later, we got Naha 19 versus RNS. And on red, we have Northwood and Stansted matching up 6:50, and the day wraps out with a JRFS and Naha Navy exhibition game as that comes off the pads. That'll be an 8:10 start tonight, so a long day of Friday hockey here in Canton, Massachusetts. And that's going to go the length for an icing. So offensive zone draw will be forthcoming here for Northwood. Face off to the left of Mortazavi. Tevi Blue trying to force it out of the zone. Sano trapped behind the goal line. Clara Stewart in the corner, going to lay down. Got 3 college commits on the Junior Flyers roster. Ella Rutter's going to University of New Hampshire. Reed Snyder to Amherst. And Jillian Sano is going to Franklin Pierce. And hopefully they'll have more coming up shortly. Mortazavi looks on in the corner. Alois Downs trying to work her up the boards, fed to the gut, and takes a skip to the wall. Down to 7:08 to go here in period number 1. Cadence Wright, send it on over. Now Summer McLean banking it ahead. Sliding through, ripped over the net by Summer McLean. McLean already scored that first one, trying to add her second here for Northwood. Waits beyond the left wing circle. Pass in front of her. Martin cuts behind the goal line. To the trapezoid. McLean. A little back and forth action. Nice slot cadence right. Pass across. Now beyond the right wing and in. Summer McLean doesn't just strike once. She's got two, and it's 2-1 Northwood. So time on that's going to be 13:30 as again it's a 2-1 score. On the boards, Northwood, a quick dump out for the line. Into the corner, that one gets tipped up. It's Combe behind the net. That one gets free. Katie Graff. Shoot in, Graff will circle. Played backwards, now coming to the net and freed up. Summer McLean drifts out in the high slot. Looking for the hat trick to the net and can't finish. Little spin around for Sano. Boyce Downs there behind the net as well. As he'll loft it out through neutral. Back to go chase it goes Reese Combe. Icing waved off and both teams will make some changes. 5:36 to go, period number one. Up ice and now a 2-1 Northwood game. Natalie Federoff is able to jab that one loose and it comes all the way back down behind the net of Annette Zuck. Breezes up the wall, LaCapella, and now some room for Kelly. She'll pass it to herself. Kelly, a little hand-over-hand action, set in front of her. Federoff trying to lay the body. Out to the line, and now on net. Takes a bounce and in! It should be Tessa Barton's goal, and it's 3-1. So Northwood wasting no time, continuing to strike after they fell behind 1-0. On the boards, coming out to the blue line. That one gets kicked out by Stewart. Sano will track this one down in their own zone with 4:45 to go. Wheels up through neutral territory. Going to cross into the zone. Forces one off the shoulder. And now Northwood going to circle the cage. Elbrack gave it up. Now here's a chance. Ella Rudder slid on the doorstep and Sano can't deliver. There's Claire Stewart. She's whistling for this one. Kate Elbrack continuing to kick at it. Rudder there as well, and we got a hand up. Looks like we're getting a penalty goal coming. So, penalty. Going to go on Rudder, and it will be a power play for Northwood. Out of the zone it comes. Dancing through the circle, trying for a chance is Barton, who just scored that third goal. Shipped side to side by LaCapella, and not going to have a chance. Freeing that one, Katie Graff, and she'll shoot it down the length of the ice sheet, 200 feet. Down to 1:25 to go. Junior Flyers are going to bring out PK2. Cadence right, and now coming up ahead, Summer McLean. Dancing through the circle. What a stop. Hannah Mortazavi with 1:13 left. So if you missed it, the Junior Flyers get on the scoreboard first, and last three have been Northwood's. Quick win, and this one going to be held inside the zone. Northwood having a really good start to the season, 7-1, sitting in second place. And this weekend, playing just 2 games. Or 3 games total, excuse me. Going to have a 6:50 game tonight against Stansted. Tomorrow morning, 11 a.m., they will play. Going to play Mount Academy. Kind of shuffle through everything. The power outage really threw me off with every tab that I had open here. Backwards, that one tracked down. Fedorov, a backhand off the wall. Annabelle Matchett trying to wedge her stick in there. On net and ripped wide. Summer McLean dances into the zone. Lacapella to the middle. Important. Rebound. Gonna go. Penelope St. Pierre, just as the penalty ends, makes it 4-1. So time on it will be 17:53. And that will be even strength. So now it's a 3-goal lead and they have the last 4. Cole will shoot this one up ice. Grabbed by Tevi Blue. Sticked around behind the net. Alois Downs. Gonna hustle it up ice. Skates over the blue line. Crosses center. Downs into the zone. Gets tied up. Now she's wrestled over. Quick working behind the net. Ryan Erster now brought over the strike. Reese Combe is the offside. So, neutral zone face-off coming up. One going to be taken by Andrea Strasser. Emma Hagen, second-line center on this Northwood team. Behind the net, 90 seconds to go in the period. Came away from McGonigal. Bashed off the boards, now tracked behind the goal line. Ryan Erster. Emma Hagen's out to the blue line. Now on the back end, Megan Holmes towards the net. Popped off the pads. Olivia Drexelius. Negus can't get it out of the zone. Reset it off the end boards. Out through neutral territory, it's going to come. Strasser was there. Force fed the other way, and now McGonigal shoots it right back in. Junior Flyers going to make a change. Northwood switching up some bodies, 45 to go as well. Out of the zone, that came off Reese Lesperance, and it will go for an icing. 40.4. So, continuing to keep that foot on the gas and doing everything they can are the Junior Flyers, despite the difference on the scoreboard. Behind the net, now Fedorov going to be taken down. Quick hustle as it's shot to the boards. A little hit, and Tressa Thompson tries that work out. Skating with some room is Ella Rutter, the UNH commit. She'll force it on goal, and there's a stop. So Annette Zuck once again hauls it in. After this period comes to a close, don't go anywhere. Going to take a minute and a half break, and then we'll be right back with period 2 as you only get one ice cut, which comes after the second in these weekend games. Out through neutral territory, racing that one down was Reese Lesperance, and a stick save. Pops off the glass. That'll end the period. So 4-1 going to be your score here at Canton Ice House Blue Rings. 19U matchup, Junior Flyers in Northwood. We'll switch ends. Period 2 straight ahead when we come back. Not like she was mad at me.
Might want to live on fudge and cookies. I think I would have been nervous if I had to do this job.
Back at center ice, Northwood controls the second period draws. We're back underway. They're skating right to left in the second frame. Junior Flyers going left to right as Royce Downs trying to clear the zone. They flipped up and hit Lena Stearns. Comes back out towards center. Stearns trying to get her feet in there. As Northwood shuffle it side and now cleared out. It was Tessa Barton with the big dump, and it goes for the icing. So Junior Flyers back to offensive territory. Ace-off will be to the right side of Annette Zuck. Katie Graff will take this draw. Anna Shida saw her on the other end. Junior Flyers hold in front of the bench is Tevi Blue between the rings. Barton hustled out the other way and going to be frozen. Trying to see if the Junior Flyers made a goaltender change. Looked like a 32 as opposed to a 30, but we'll get to that for you in a second. Face-off control, Autumn Kelly. Trying to rip it on through, and yes, indeed, they did. 32 now in net, so that's Ashley Brahoni. Chris Beer wasting no time with the 3-goal difference. Trying to give his team a spark. Set up on a tee up the gut. Here comes Philly hustling the other way. Ella Rudder breaks out of her center. She's got a lot of speed. One of the fastest players in the JWHL, if you ask me. Rudder gets to this puck, was looking back out to the point. Celius was there, but now some room coming the other way for Griffiths. She lifts up the middle, slid it past St. Pierre, and now hits the wall. Ella Rudder tries to get a piece of it. Back out to the blue line, and that hits the paddle. Cora Major going to get it along the boards. There's a little hit. Annabelle Motchit trying to clear out of the zone. Gets a piece of it and shot up through the air. Back to get this one. LaCapella in her own zone. Going to weave between the rings. Heavy pressure coming from Drexelius, forces the puck back out to the blue line. Now St. Pierre will skate over the center stripe. In over the blue line, that'll be offside. 15:09 to go. Back behind the net. Again, the goalie change. Brahoni now in there for the Junior Flyers. She's you're younger, 2027 grad, so not as much experience at this level, but why not get some experience in a game like this with your team down and your coach trying to leave a spark and, of course, get your team after scoring that first goal to try to find some energy similar to that. And the Junior Flyers definitely came out hustling, but they've slowed down. From the sharp angle, can't get that through as it trickles up in the air. Then McGuire was right there on the doorstep as well, and now here they come, getting out over center. Fedorov will lay it down in behind the goal line. Junior Flyers going to make a line change. 14:20 to go till our intermission here in Canton. Out of the zone, Emma Haggins breaks over the line, drifts up beyond the right wing circle, goes to that forehand, the backhand, and the forehand got denied. Here's a little maneuver for Lois Downs. Jillian Sano stolen aside. Now Erster can't feed it through. Emma Haggins, a little turnaround. It's Ryan Erster again. Big hit, puck pops loose. Slid through the circles, now grabbed off the boards by Anna Monette. Hits the glass, still able to hold the zone. Tessa Barton gonna drift. Barton had that third goal for Northwood as they scored 4 in a row to end out period 1 if you're just tuning in. And we hope for your sake you're not, because despite what the score may say, this has been a fun one. Claire Stewart in the corner. Barton tried that pointer, now drifting in, can't get a shot through. Spun in that low slot, now Sano going to start to break out. She'll really hustle it. Here they come, 2-on-2 entry. Sano through the right wing circle all the way coast to coast, and she can't finish. Is Annette Zuck going to stuff her in the blue paint? Drifting in, coming to the net. Keena Gillis surveys the space, bumps it back out to the blue line. Riley Griffith still on shot. Summer McLean spins around, able to keep possession. Has 2 goals on the board, so she's on Hattie watch the rest of the way until she, of course, gets that third if she does. McLean drifts around beyond the right side circle. Feeds it behind her to her defense. Nice stick work. Cadence Wright trying to hold the edge. Comes off the twig as that got deflected off of Lois Downs. Down on both knees is Summer McLean. She's able to spring up. Keena Gillis, a little slice and dice action in the 2-on-2. Now brought on out by Tevi Blue as here come the Junior Flyers. Lena Stirs kicking at this one. Graff trying to come the other way. She gets tripped up. We will see a penalty. And so, Junior Flyers will go to the power play. So, penalty will be for hooking. And now the face-off will come, left side of the net. Jillian Sano able to win a draw. Cora Major picks this one up. Grabbed on the left side. Ella Rudder out to the blue line. Ship side to side. That one got tipped. Now a shot rips over the bar. Natalie Fedorov trying to find something. Tevi Blue. Getting it back in front of her. Junior Flyers really pinning it to the boards. Blue will drift. That got tipped on the way. Alois Downs in the corner. Unable to rocket this one out of there. Cora Major really has her tied up. 2 to a side in there. Finally sliced away by Downs. Sano throws it back in front. Picked off. Here comes Northwood. It is LaCapella continuing to flash the brilliant defensive stick. She's heading to Boston U next year. So going to be playing some really high-level college hockey. To the net, that got grabbed on the way. And here they come. Alois Downs doing everything, both ends for this Junior Flyer team. Rides the sidewall. Martinez one-hand jab behind the goal line. Drexelius running the point here on this near side. Keeps it in. Tracked down by Tressa Thompson. Kicking around out of the pile as Annabelle Mach at it freed up. Along the boards, down to 30 to go on this Junior Flyers power play. Abby Griffiths in the box for the hook. In a high slot, cutting and shooting off the bar. What a look there for Strasser. Cadence right, throws it off the top side of the boards. Down to 10:05 to go till our intermission. 10 seconds left in the Northwood PK. Bashed off the boards. Here's Drexelius swallowing it in. Strasser looks around. Lost possession. Northwood going to get a break. And joining the rush going to come Griffiths as we're back to 5-on-5. Junior Flyers in behind their own net. And Erster, little hit-a-ram on this one. Sliced away from Emma Haggins. Out through neutral territory. Reese Combe back to get this one first. Combe will scoot up the boards. Get cleared away. Martinez can't settle it down. Cora Major right there. Reese Combe going to circle. And Northwood able to make their last changes as a result, as they still lead by 3. All of our goals came in that first period. And a puck came into the seats. So glad to see everybody's all right here in Canton. Face off right side of the net. Sarah Martin trying to win that as it's tossed off the boards by Thompson. Far side wall, dished ahead. That gets swatted down. Katie Graff. And shot gonna rip wide. Drag into the net and forced through the blue paint. Nice glove stop there. Ashlyn Brahone is. We'd probably situate already here in the second period that have looked a little bit more than just routine. Definitely been battle tested since coming off the bench after Mortazavi getting pulled after the first. Face off left to the net. Sano able to win. Backhanded and that'll get covered up. So Brahone lays out to freeze the play there. Face-off will be to her left. Reese L'esperance. Kicks for that puck. Here come the Junior Flyers. Sano breaks over the line. And she's hammered down. Not going to have a boarding call. Past the post. Net's going to fly off. To support and knock the left post off, and the right post came with it with 8:14 to go. Face off in the neutral zone. Sano able to win that. Bounced over to Trelius' save. Downs was there too. Rudder kicks it back to Downs. She'll force it on the backhand. Tevi Blue dealing it up. Sano can't settle that in. Waiting at the center stripe. 4 flyers in the pile, and it's Northwood who's still able to skate in with it. Little dragger, can't get anything through to the net. Downs can't get out of the zone as it's shoved off the boards. Northwood jabs it off the top side. Track down, Tevi Blue will slow the play. Out of the zone, here they come. Quick hustle for Stewart. Stewart being dragged at, still no penalty call. Officials just kind of letting them play here in this one. Then a couple of missed calls. McGonigal in the corner. Shipped to the far side of the rink. Bryn McGuire played out high. McGonigal was tied up, and so she couldn't rip a shot. Here they come out of the zone. LaCapella, St. Pierre centers. LaCapella couldn't get a shot. Settled down off the wall. St. Pierre going to spin around, forced up the far side. Perry Le Esperance lays it in behind the goal line. St. Pierre drifts, surveying the scene. Nice little stick movement right there. McGonigal trying to get out to the blue line. Emma Haggard's tied up, waits beyond the left side circle. Tracked down in the corner. Now rocketed up by Olivia Dartselius. Haggins looking out to the point, had Reese Combe there. Instead, Philly able to get back on top of it. McGonigal coming out of the zone. Through the circles, here they come. It's Major breaking over center, lays it in off the boards. Coming up here in just a moment, we'll take a look at the rest of the weekend schedule for both of these two teams, as promised earlier on. Freed in the corner, that one again sliced out by Albrecht. Sano in possession, cuts through the circles. Throws it cross rink. Grabbed in stride, here comes Fedorov, throwing it in. Zuck out of her net, shoveling it to the left side. Sano lets out in the circle, won't have a dump off to Fedorov. Takes a couple of skips, cadence right. Force it to Ryan Erster. Played up the middle, Emma Haggins. 3-on-2 entry. A little turnaround action for Sarah Martin. Heavy McGonigal frees this up. Cora Major gets it loose. Kenna Gillis waits out at the line. Big point shot and couldn't bury it. Cadence Wright trying to deliver a sharp angle. A big shot. Major again turning to the net. Little shuffle to the far side. Corey Major again beyond the left side circle. Waits in the high slot. Fed on over. Major rips it past the right post. Northwood firmly in the offensive seat right now. Continuing to pepper chances on goal. Cora Major forces it in. Annabelle Machet. Fast off the wall. Comes all the way in. And that'll go for an icing. So offensive zone draw coming up for Northwood. Another draw win. Behind the net, Sarah Martin tracked this one down, trying to feed it up front. Takes a couple of skips. Megan Holmes played back beyond center. Tevi Blue on top of this. Graff trying to get a piece in there. And there's going to be a trip call. So another penalty. Graf was checking to make sure she got in the right box. So Junior Flyers back to the penalty kill. See what Northwood's got in the tank. Penelope St. Pierre kind of win that. Swatted out to the line. Cora Major tipped down. Wheeling it off was their captain, Kate Elbrack. Forced cross ring, but no on net and in. Lacapella makes it a 5-1 game. As it only takes 15 power play seconds. So 4-goal difference. First one that Brahoni has allowed since coming off the bench for head coach Chris Beer and the Junior Flyers. Cadence Wright shoots it off the boards. Northwood streaking in through the far circle. Laid out in front. What a save. Brahoni again comes up huge. Out through center. Chased back the other way by Wright. No hand comes for a whistle. Right there from Rudder. Came free. Jillian Sano out towards the blue line. Grabbed by Rudder. And that hits skate on the way. Eloise Downs in behind the goal line. Northwood starting that rush out. Trying to find Lacapella on a stretch feed. Blue will cut backwards. Left it over the center line. Here's Jillian Sano. That'll hit a skate. Nothing's there. Autumn Kelly crossed it up. Lacapella back into the zone. Trying to fly to the net, and no shots there. Down to 2:15 to go here in period number 2 in a 5-1 game. Northwood has the last 5 as Downs gets in over center and a high slot coughed up possession. Coming back in onside, Summer McLean turns around. Ripped widely. And up off the shoulder. It's like we are going to need a new puck. So, definitely helpful to have a puck. You can't really play without it. Trying to come on net. There's a stick. Stick action over there once more. Now trying to drill on goal. What a save. Ashlyn Barhoney comes up clutch. He was 1:16. Face off to the left of Brahoni once more. Thrown off the glass, coming back beyond center, and shot up into the bench. So, get a neutral zone face off. Reed Snyder shoots that in. Quick hustle as Summer McLean trying to get out of the zone. Grabbed here by Drexelius as she'll bank it off the boards. Front of the benches, Ella Rudder turns around. Trying to leave it up ice. Martinez forced it off the sideboards. Trying to pick it in the corner is Riley Martinez. Out of the zone, crossing center, slung in off the glass. Kate Elbrett trying to pick that up, and now play gets frozen. So Brahoni again waits on the right side of the crease and freezes up. Tied up along the far side. Monette can't get a shot. Fans on this one. Slow little drubber along the wall. Katie Graff fed beyond center all the way down, and that is going to end the period in its tracks right there. 5-1 going to be the score in favor of Northwood. Summer McLean scores the first two, then Barton and St. Pierre, and then Lowell. Lacapella gets the only goal of the second. And so we're going to head to our intermission here on JWHL YouTube. Again, it's a 5-1 score in favor of Northwood here at Canton Ice House. It's fine, I guess. Back here at Canton Ice House, forget about intermission. We're going to play the third right now. The final 17 minutes of action in this one. And again, it's 5-1. And so we're just going to roll on. Nothing wrong with that. Fedorov shoots it off the top side of the wall. McGonigal trying to leave it out of the zone. Here comes Lena Stirs getting over center. Played to herself off the board. Stirs kicks at this one. Freed up, and Lily Pratt over the line. Anna Monette trying to dance in, can't get a shot through. Monette behind the goal line. Northwood working it out up top. Pass from Barton to her left. And now point will trickle off the skates. Tevi Blue trying to ride it back out of the zone. Riley Griffiths, a little side game. There's Tessa Barton. Giving it up to the Junior Flyers, and Northwood heads off for a change. Junior Flyers right to left in this third period, and Northwood going left to right. Zutt sets up shop. Autumn Kelly hustling up the wall, and that goes into the seats. Nobody was down there, so can't even say watch out. Neutral zone face-off is Sano going to match up with Penelope St. Pierre right now. Cadence right, getting over the center stripe. Olivia Drexelius slingshots it over to her left. Trying to force feed up ice. Here's a chance. Ella Rudder in all one, trying to drill it and miss. But way too much zip and way too much height. There's Claire Stewart, left side boards, trying to center something. Little tie up and force out through neutral towards center. Gritzelli is trying to hold the edge. Instead, Kelly on the pass on over. St. Pierre ripped to the middle, and Kelly couldn't settle down. Here goes Philly. Sino through neutral, starting the charges. Tied up at the center stripe, and now coughed up is Penelope St. Pierre going to cut in. They're in 3-on-2. St. Pierre sets it up, the drag, and the shot missed. Autumn Kelly again, too much height. Far side wall, 15 to go in regulation. We'll move for Reese Combs, set up left side, glove save. Ashlyn Mahoney ripped down to the zone through neutral territory. Back to go grab this one, Ryan Erster. Backhanded over to her partner, Reese Combs. Takes a skip. Now a little tie up, Emma Haggins in offensive territory, shooting it in. Rides around the wall, and now a tie up. Out towards the blue line. Good stick action, Reese Combs. Waits again. Here's a look for Ryan Erster. Slid to the middle, the turnaround, and oh, what a save. Ashlyn Mahoney comes up big. Pass behind the goal line. Thompson trying to crunch up there and trickles past the post. On the wall, Emma Haggins again loses this one. Perry Esperance put it in behind the goal line. Spinning around, there's Kate Albrecht again trying. The captain and eye slot rips it off the shoulder. Behind the net. Now Ella Rudder tries that workout. She about got tripped up on the way as well. Crossing center. Rudder's into the zone. Back beyond the right side circle. Broken up the gut. Coming the other way, Ryan Erster centered on the tee. Emma Haggins drifts to the high slot and knocked away and ripped over the net. Here's a chance once more. Rudder throwing a hit. Riley Griffiths on top. High slot over the bar. Kenna Gillis riding this one in the corners. McGonigal threw a hit on her. Tips off the boards. Kenna Gillis thrown in deep. Sarah Martin. And a look behind her. Fedorov cutting ahead. There's a hit. McGonigal again on the backhand, trying to leave it out of the zone. That one trickles into the net. They buried on the doorstep. So with that, it goes to a 6-1 score, and the clock will be running. This one thrown up the other way. Katie Graff trying to get that. McGonigal hustle it forward over the line, coughed it up. So delayed offside on Philly right there. Stretch feed from Summer McLean. Broken up in neutral territory. Corey Major now backwards. Waiting over center. The little turnaround for Alois Downs. Comes off the pads on the right side. Riley Griffiths up across neutral. No whistle going to come for an icing. It is running clock now in a 5-goal game here in the third period. U19 match at Northwood in Philadelphia. Glad you're with us. JWHL YouTube. Make sure you subscribe and hang with us all weekend long and for the rest of the season for all these great games. Royce Downs through neutral, trying to find Ella Rudder in stride. Sano fans on a shot forward, and now St. Pierre hustles it out. Beyond the left side circle, darting to the net, tries, and a stop. Ashlyn Bahoney able to hold on. Shot, and there's a stop. So Bahoney right off the face-off, once again, coming up huge. Penelope St. Pierre off the face-off. Dritzelius to the wall. Sano try to scoop back in behind the goal line. Little rock right there, and now a turnaround. Up through the air, takes some bounces. It's grabbed by Kelly, thrown wide. Trying to load up La Capella right there on the doorstep. Cadence right in her own zone, bashed off the wall. Sliding up ice, here comes Autumn Kelly, left side circle, off the lanes, now to the front, nothing's there. Kelly tries. Kelly again, and nothing's there. Out of the zone. Hustling in comes Strasser, not going to have a chance. Tapped off the wall, nothing doing. Emma Haggins there in the corner as well. Federley waits an eye slot, bumped off the wall. Set behind the net. McGonigal title on the boards. Now up the middle, waits between the reins. Knifed off the boards. Ryan Erster through neutral territory. Now back off the wall. Clear shot in. Cadence right, chasing it down here for Northwood. Tevi Blue circles. Backhanded up towards center. Gets tipped at. Reese Combe over the line. Here comes Northwood. Right wing side, the shot off the shoulder. Rebound try won't go either. And the Haggins denied twice. Face off right side of the net, one on in and covered up. So Ashlyn Bahoney able to freeze the play. Annabelle Machit trying to win possession here. Snap shot, hits the shoulder. Hides around behind the net. Picked up at the point, Reese Combs shipping it side side. Trying to find something on goal, comes off the pads. Sumner McLean can't hold the edge. Reese Combs forced to track it back down the other end. Sumner McLean up ice. Back side of the circle, off the mitt, and gets frozen up. 7:08 to go. So an offensive zone face-off will be coming up here once again for Northwood. Seems like much of the play spent down on this end. Breaking on in, Evie McGonigal tries and can't bury, excuse me. Shot off the wall. Olivia Dritzelius and Philly again pinching up on the forecheck. Dritzelius turns on her heels and Northwood going to have a 2-on-1 breaking into the zone. Here's a look. Reese LaPella buried. She matches her sister on the day, Reese LaCapella, making it a 7-1 score. So time on that will be 17:47. Quick draw in there for Northwood. Lily Pratt. They are trying to march themselves into first place in this very competitive U19 division here in the JWHL. Certainly be huge if they can find a way to do that here this weekend at Canton with just a couple of these showcase tourneys left. Through the circle, buried off the bar. Summer McLean with the Hattie here this afternoon. So 8-1 now your score. Jillian Sano breaks over the blue line, backside of the left wing. Stolen aside. Could see if that was 8 or 9 with the celebration. It might have been 9 for Northwood with Cora Major. But regardless, an 8-1 score, and we'll see if we can check that goal. So my apologies if messing that one up. Sano coming net front in the blue paint and covered. Ashlyn Mahoney able to freeze it up. So clock will continue to tick down. Is just north of 4 to play here in this running clock third. After you get to 5 goals is the difference in U19. It's running clock. Hits the right post. Now a try once more. And Mahoney able to freeze it. So that's huge for her to stop the play. Junior Flyers team, as we said, trying to win their first game up here the weekend. Only victory they have was a 4-3 hard-fought win against Ralston Netherwood earlier this year. Been blown out a handful of times, 12-0, 10-0, 6-2, 5-2, 8-1, 6-1, you name it, and they've dealt with it. 8-1 loss against Northwood their last game. And so looking eerily familiar here this afternoon. Going to have Mount Academy tonight over on Red Rink. Or no, that's tomorrow, 7:20, excuse me. And then Sunday morning they play Stansted on Red at 10 a.m. to wrap out their weekend here. So we'll see what they got in the tank. Hand's going to pop up for a delayed offside. Penelope St. Pierre pulls up in the circle, fed out high. Kind of snarled off the boards. Emma Haggett. Crossing centers. Caden Strite spinning it over. Dyson to the head. Crossing Rudder. Down to 2:48 to go. 7-goal hockey game. Emma Haggins right there. Kate Albrecht forced it off the wall. Ryan Erster turning it in on sides. Drilled up the middle. Grabbed, and that tips off the boards. All the way down, 2:25 to go. Rudder snarled on the boards. Now a little trip up in the high slot. Reese Combe fed on over. Megan Holmes circles back. Drilled on up by Kate Albrecht behind the net. Now up top, it bounces aside. Haggins beyond the circle. Off the wall, again there's Rudder. The center stripe, she's tripped up. Off the boards, Rudder again, tied. Lena stirs. Red to go grab this, Reese Combe in her own end. Combe with 35 left. Going to break that through neutral, crosses center, flies in offensive territory beyond the right wing. Reese Combe can't bump that through. And knocked loose. Circling, surveying the space. Kenna Gillis can't rip the shot. Down to 1:15. Lena stirs, trying to grab that. Netherwood, no shot. Here's a look in the circle. Comes around loose. Trying to rip it on goal. Nothing's there. Lena stirs, hit to the glass. Chinks the crossbar. Stirs right there. Lois Downs tracks it behind the net. 28 to go. Up high slot. Oh, bumped down to the zone. Katie Graff. Northwood back to chase. 20 to go. Junior Flyers making was probably going to be their last change. 15 seconds. And now we get a whistle with 10 seconds to go on the offside. And that will run the seconds down. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a victor. 8-1 going to be the final as Northwood comes here to Canton and grabs their first one of the weekend. So, Philly's going to be looking for redemption tomorrow when they're back at it. Northwood going to let this stay hot and trying to take over first place in these U19 standings. So, again, thanks for watching your final 8-1 Northwood. Catch you back here for that